Today's the day I'm finally going to get some paint on the outer surfaces of the Charade, but I am going to start with the engine bay. So my final prep starts with using a tack cloth for the first time. I've not used these before. This is to remove the last few dust particles from the car. It's a nice fibrous and sticky cloth. That really is getting everything off. Handy invention that. I've also taken the precaution of an anti-static strap, which is basically I've just buried a stake in the garden and I have a jump lead connected to the body of the car going out through the edge of the door. The strap mightn't work, but it won't do any harm, so it's worth a try anyway. Now I'm going to degrease the car with a microfiber cloth. I'm actually quite pleased how dust free I've managed to get the place. I'm not seeing much now after going over with that tack cloth. So I just want to make it clear before I get started that I'm not a professional sprayer. I'm just an amateur having the best go that I can at home with an old car that my wife and I have owned for over 5 years. I'm using these paints. It's a 2-pack system, which I sourced from Motorcolor.ie, and they are compliant with the current EU directives, which limit the VOCs in paint, and they've been supplied with all the safety data sheets that's necessary to cover these products. So I am taking the best precautions that I can, but I can't really advise you on that. You must do your own research if you intend doing something like this yourself, and just make sure to protect yourself. I've taken steps to feed my compressor with air from outside the garage to a fully air-fed mask from the compressor with filtered air. It's much colder outside than I'd wanted it to be, 6 degrees, so I'm doing my best to heat the garage with some electrical heaters. But I'm going to have to switch them off once I start painting, so that there's no spark danger with the fumes from the paint. And once I start painting as well, I'm going to have to start ventilating the place, so I'm going to start losing that temperature. But hopefully this won't have a detrimental effect on the paint. I have to have a go at this now, whether I can't wait another 6 months for the temperature to get up. So we're just going to do the best I can. And if you're trying this yourselves at home, take all necessary precautions and research it well before you do so. And make sure that you're compliant with any laws in the area where you're operating.
Okay, I'm going to mix up my primer now, and it's 100 parts of this with 25% hardener and 25 parts of thinner. So I'll do 100 ml to keep it simple through this little filter funnel. This one's the thinner. Okay, let's give it a go. So that was basically my dust coat for the roof, but a final primer for the engine bay, because that already had a layer of the zinc primer before. So I'm just going to mix up my final primer for the roof. Okay, that's had 15 minutes for the dust coat there. I've mixed up a third batch, so I need to get rid of all these little spots on the roof. I'm just going to lightly sand the roof now, a process called denibbing. I find it better just by hand, just to take any loose bit of paint off before I put the top coat on. It's a bit of an ordeal, but there does seem to be some little bit of loose paint coming off. So I'll blow off the loose dust now. Now I'll tack cloth all this to get the remainder of it off. Okay, let's prepare some top coat. This is a big moment. This is the first time I'm going to see what the true colour of the car could be. Oh, I like it. Something like that. So this time I'm doing 200 ml of this, 100 of the hardener, and between 20 and 40 this. 25 will do. I'm actually really glad that I decided to do this in stages, because I'm learning a lot by this that I can apply to doing the rest of the car. But if I tried to do it all in one go, I think I would have been a bit overwhelmed. I'm really excited now to get some colour out of the car. Continuing straight into another coat of this. I'll finish that batch off now in the engine bay.
So I managed to get one layer of top coat on the car before I broke away for the night, and after ventilating the garage I heated it up to 20 degrees overnight. So I was glad to see when I came back this morning that it hasn't hazed up or anything like that. I do see a few tiny little specks of dust that have settled on it overnight, so I'm going to blow it off with the air gun and then go over with the tack cloth one more time just as a precaution before I put a couple more layers of top coat on it today. Well, after wiping down the whole car, the tack cloth has come out really clean, which just shows there's very little dust in here, and this cheap plastic sheeting that I picked up in Germany has really helped keep the place dust free.
So the last night I did 1 and a bit coats based on 200ml of paint. So today I want to get 2 full coats. So I'm going to base my measurements on 300ml of paint. I definitely don't want this to go off, so I'm going to cover it with tape, seal it in. So I'm trebling my measurement. So that's 150ml of the hardener. And just go about 40. This one's a thinner. So that's working out at about a handy ½ litre of paint. So that's filled my gun to a nice level. I was actually able to see the finish improve with each coat, so I've decided to go for 1 more, which will really be still just 3 full coats and a half dust coat at the beginning.